All right, I am 2 weeks out, which is crazy to me. But this was my primary squat day 2 weeks out. So this is going to be my second to last heavy squat session going into my meet. This is my last warm up with 452 pounds. Felt really, really good. Then went on to my single today with 507 slash 230 kilos at about an RPE of 7, which also felt really, really good, which I was very pleased with, especially with just external variables. I've been really busy with work and clients and content creation, all that stuff. It's been kind of tough to, be athlete Adam as well as coach Adam. And so my plan for right now is to sort of become a little bit more efficient with time blocking because I really do need to become a little bit more selfish right now with my time, just because, this is really when these last 2 weeks are when, going to kind of make or break my prep. And, managing those external variables just really does fall on me and being a little more frequently with boundaries so I can actually take care of myself. But moved on to 4 sets of 3 for down sets with 185 kilos. Really, right here, all I'm thinking about doing is just really big brace into my belt, breathing out before I try to get all my air into my abdomen, pressing my tongue to the roof of the mouth to maintain that pressure, and then really just trying to maintain the even pressure between the heels of my feet and the balls of my feet. I found as long as I do that and I let my torso just kind of lean naturally in order to maintain that, I get depth, no problem. And what I've been really happy with is like squats have really not been painful with my back, which has been a really big relief with moving to 3 times a week squatting, which has really helped out a lot. Now, the only thing I am noticing is I am getting a little bit more sort of lower back fatigue from the 3 times a week squat. I think it also has to do with 50 bar squats being on my third day on my deadlifts, or it's just the fact that like now I've gotten kind of strong on my ham raises on my Monday workout, and I think it's kind of causing a little bit too much compression of my lower back, and I need to slower down the volume, especially with the 3 times a week squatting. So that's what I'm going to try doing. Slash just do like some leg curls, and so I need to feel some sort of like pump or fullness in my muscles to feel strong, like in honesty on all of my lifts. As long as that soreness is not painful, I tend to be a lot stronger like that, and that's kind of a difficult balance to manage, right? Like the my, but if it's a painful soreness, it's like okay, like gotta lower down the volume. If there's like some soreness, but I still feel strong and able to perform. That's kind of like how I know personally I'm like in that sweet spot of stimulus for myself. But then moved on to deadlifts. I had a single with 250 kilos. Moved fine. This day always feels a little bit rough. It's basically 2 days after my primary day, and then to have these squats before and just feel a little bit of beat here. And then I do 4 sets of 4. Still relatively light. Did this with 474 pounds and 215 kilos. You'll see I did my first 2 sets without straps, and then I did these last 2 sets or 3 sets with straps, and that's kind of my rule of thumb for training my grip and while taking care of my hands. I did one prep where I was doing all my deadlift sets without straps, and I thought I'll make my grip better. It really didn't. It made my calluses kind of tear, and I was just not nearly as strong on the platform. I had grip issues like the first time in my life. So take care of your hands. That's why I use straps. One really big key point though is that a lot of times when people do use straps, they will actually not fully grip the bar. They kind of like fingertip grip it, and that does change your leverages. So make sure that you're gripping it in the same way, the same depth of your hand that you would if you were just fully gripping the bar to have some of that transference. I also think like in some ways for like misgrip pullers, like I have some stipulation or thought in my mind that maybe some of my left lower back pain might be due to the like me pulling mixed grip because there's some slight twisting likely on that side. Like I can feel it on some reps, but yeah, that's sort of how I train my deadlift. And then moved on to belt squats. PR'd it. I'm trying to have smaller increases on my accessories for right now. I only added 5 pounds since like 685. I don't know how much like the actual carriage weighs. I'm trying to not overextend myself on my accessories right now because I'm really just trying to have most of my recovery go towards my SBD. And honestly, like maintaining accessories that's going into meat while it's maintaining volume isn't the worst idea to maximize strength stimulus or just lower down your volume that you just like one set because if you think about stimulus for muscle growth, that first set we get 100% of that stimulus, and with obviously we're going to get some fatigue, but it's mostly just going to be strength stimulus and muscle growth stimulus. And after that, we kind of get 50% of the benefits, and just kind of goes down and linearly with while fatigue rises linearly too. So Yeah, that's that. And then I did some leg extensions. I still incorporate these because it helps out with that terminal knee extension part of the squat, which is that last portion of it. This is also just some low fatigue hypertrophy stimulus for my quads. And Lord knows I need bigger quads to squat 600 pounds. Then I did some seated leg curls. Honestly, guys, I found that like the best accessories for like my deadlift is just like doing a lot of upper back work with like lat pull downs and rows, and then just spamming leg curls. Like even like higher frequency, like nothing grows my legs like leg curls do. I've tried like doing RDLs and like back extension, all that crap. Like it kind of just beats up my lower back, which kind of makes sense because I'm a pretty back dominant lifter, anyways. But yeah, that was the session. 2 weeks out, and I have another rant in this one about sort of like one a little bit of a coaching tip with managing social media and training. But I'm super excited for this meet. And I think I should be able to get a small PR in my total. But yeah, next clip. So, pretty good session. I just, you guys saw the voiceover, so I'm not really going to go over it that much. But I want to talk about one thing here that I think can be really a game changer for a lot of people, and that is just not posting their lifts on social media as often. Because I think a lot of times, as a coach, I tend to see lots of lifters just overshooting during their training blocks because they're trying to lift as heavy as possible during their blocks to like impress their friends, to impress followers, to get social status. That's the whole reason why we post on social media, and that can really cause a stagnation in strength progress, because the reality is that the actual work that gets you stronger, in most cases, it's not that impressive. It's going to be well underneath your abilities, and that's just the reality of getting stronger, especially as you get more and more advanced. And so, if you're finding that posting your videos on social media is causing you to overextend yourself, you're always taking the high end of the range, even if you just don't feel good, you could don't have that sauce today, you need to take the low end of the range. Like, don't film your sets. Don't post your sets on social media. Like, still film them, still send them to your coach, whatever. But like, if you really want to get strong, you need to make sure that you're actually following that submaximal ramp. There's not that many people that can lift RPE 8 to 10 every single week and get stronger. Like, I wish I could do that. It's a lot of fun to lift that heavy, but I feel beat up. My tendons get fucked. I tend to regress in my strength, get really burnt out. And for me, it's just understanding that just because it's lighter doesn't mean it's not effective. Those submaximal weights, the reason why they move so fast is because you're still moving, or you should be moving, with maximal concentric intent, meaning that you're producing the same amount of force through the RPE 7 weight as RPE 10. So if you have 500 pounds on your squat, and your maximum day is 550. The only reason why why that 500 pounds is RP 7 is because you're moving with that exact same force necessary to actually, squat 550. So hopefully that makes sense. So if you guys are finding that's, causing you to overextend, I would just not post your lifts on social media until like week 4, or, post them on your stories, but like, or whatever, or just don't post them at all, because like, I don't know, like no one really cares, honestly, like besides you, about like what weight you're lifting. What people will care about and what they will notice is you actually making progress. If you're constantly, spinning your wheels and going in circles because you're constantly overshooting because you want to impress your friends, you're missing the point. That's, it's not going to be impressive then when you're still benching 300 pounds in a year. So yeah, hopefully that makes sense. But hopefully you guys like the video. I can't believe I'm 2 weeks out. I'm really excited. If you guys are interested in coaching, you guys want to get strong while having a lean, aesthetic, chiseled physique, I got you. That's what I specialize in. Links are down below to apply for coaching. Follow me on Instagram at Adam D. Peeler. I just got verified, so woo. Anyways, talk to you guys in the next one.